Hello and welcome to the Sky Sports Golf Podcast presented by Callaway. We are back, and after a well-earned break following the Ryder Cup, we're bringing you the pod today from beautifully sunny Dubai ahead of the DP World Tour Championship this week. The finale of an unforgettable year on the tour and for golf in general. And given we've been keeping you waiting 6 weeks, it's only right that we roll out the big guns for our first pod back. And guns do not come bigger than Andrew Coltart's. So Colty is with us here this morning. How are you doing, Andrew?
All right, mate. Thanks. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Looking forward to the week.
Good to see you, absolutely. Radar is here, 10 days out from the Ashes, getting underway, looking quietly confident there in the middle. G'day, Radar.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hello there, Jamie. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Ashes. It's going to be great. I'm going day 3 in Sydney, so maybe it'll all be done by then.
But to whom?
Well,
we shall wait and see. And 3 is the magic number. Laurie Canter, guest on our very first podcast of the year, back again. Rolled out of bed this morning to come and join us because you live out here now.
I do, yes. I was last to arrive, but I'm about a sort of 10-minute buggy ride up to where we are here. So
Yeah.
I moved out to Jumeirah in the summer.
Nice, very nice. Look, so much to get through, and we don't want to keep Laurie from his practice for too long. So we'll begin with a quick recap of Abu Dhabi, which provided some very low scoring, some scintillating golf, dramatic finish. Laurie, when you go 69, 65, 69, 70, and find yourself in a tie for 23rd, 10 shots out of a playoff, that kind of says it all about the scoring last week. It was pretty low.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I finished 15 under last year and finished 23rd, so I should
Right.
I should have known about it, really. I think the golf course is in such perfect condition. These guys who were out there would have seen it. And I think the fact we didn't really get any wind, I think Yaz needs a bit of wind, really, especially the front 9 to protect it. It didn't really get it, so it was a bit of a birdie fest.
Yeah, it was. And Colty, our champion, Aaron Rai, sometimes I watch him and I just wonder how he doesn't win every second week, because when he's in that sort of position and that frame of mind, he just doesn't look like making a mistake. Just fairway green and regulation, fairway green and regulation.
Yeah, no, I mean, conditions were perfect for Aaron. Look, he's not the longest hitter out there, and as Laurie says, if the wind had got up and that would have affected how he would have had to have gotten the golf ball around the golf course slightly differently, but it didn't. He took full advantage of the conditions that were out there in front of everybody, and he played the best ultimately at the end of the day. Just love how in control of his emotions.
The expression never changes.
Absolutely. It's not like he's not a boring player to watch. You know, that's a skill in itself, to be able to control all that, not get too far ahead, not get too anxious about the types of shot that you've got to play, stick to your task and do the job. And that is what he's exceptional at, and it was a great performance.
And Radar, as viewers and listeners will know, he has his eccentricities. Does Aaron with, the iron covers and the 2 gloves, and he had a pink castle tee on the go last week as well. But he's so solid, isn't he? And Colty's talking about his expression never changes, but he's a phenomenal golfer.
Yeah. All he needs is a scorecard holder hanging off the golf bag, and he's cracked it. I mean, it's so very, very different. He's a neat player. I was amazed
and
by
a great front runner as well, isn't he? Once he gets in front, he's solid in that position.
I was amazed the way he played, though, his strategy last week. He was he was hitting these little 85% steerers down the fairway, Laurie, and he was such a long way back. Like even the last day,
16.
He had 16. He had like 196 in there.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was off a drive, just a squeezy drive. He was way back. The other boys had him by some 70 to 80 yards, and he did that on several occasions. He plays it his own very way. It's horses for courses, and you really wouldn't expect him to win with that kind of strategy around a place like that, which is actually built for someone who really does send it. So, full credit to him.
And obviously, Tommy Fleetwood, who he pipped in the playoff, just another excellent week for Tommy, who's surely playing the golf of his life right now. Laurie, Scotty and Rory are clearly the top 2 in golf when it comes to both results and their star factor, if you like. Tommy doesn't have the major CV of those 2 yet, but is he now the 3rd biggest name in golf, Tommy?
I mean, the golf sickos out there would tell you Tommy's the 2nd best player in the world this year.
Right,
so statistically, what he's doing stacks up. He doesn't have the major record of those 2, obviously. He will have, I think. Yeah. I think it's inevitable. He will do that, and I think he'll get a couple. I think he looks to me more and more comfortable. He's got a huge CV of wins, and it's just that next phase. Seems to have a gregreat team behind him, Butch Harmon and all.
Yeah.
and all the like. So I would back him to have a pretty nice little spell of golf the next decade if he stays fit.
And your foursomes partner at the Home Internationals back in 2010.
Yeah, where did it all go wrong?
Unbeaten pairing of Canter and Fleetwood.
Yeah.
And you've always said to
nothing
me,
like piling the pressure on yourself. Yeah.
You've always said to me you've never seen a ball striker like Tommy. You've never played alongside somebody who strikes it as purely.
Yeah, and I know people eulogise about players, and these guys would have seen their share. He just, to me, hit it so different to the rest of us when we were that age, and he grew up on links golf, super comfortable hitting these really low flights, and just very impressive, and kind of at the same time quite understated with how he does it all. So he's a good guy to be around, and I like seeing him do as well as he is. Yeah,
absolutely. Tommy flying at the moment, and he gets to sleep in his own bed this week, like Laurie, which always helps. Let's go on to this week then. Always provides a thrilling finale to the DP World Tour season. We've got the tournament itself, we've got the race to Dubai, which has come down to 3 men, and the battle to secure the 10 PGA Tour cards on offer, which we will get on to as well. But Radar, it's always a great week. It's always a brilliant finish.
It certainly is. It's a great golf course. We always see it seems exposed. You practice here all the time. The wind seems to always get up. It's pretty consistent. So there's always a good club and a half, maybe 2 clubs of wind out here, which I think, unlike last week, well, the last 2 tournaments I've played, I don't know if you were in India. Were you in India?
I wasn't, no.
I tell you what, it was the stillest week I've ever seen. And last week was very much the same, thus the scoring. But this is a different kettle of fish here. It's a fantastic golf course. The fairways run a little faster than they did last week, traditionally. I'm a big fan of this place. They're big greens, but there are pockets where they put the flags. And it's a great venue for a fantastic finale.
My first time out here.
Yeah.
So I had my first look at the course yesterday.
Well, you don't earn enough money to live there.
This is it, exactly. The race to Dubai itself comes down to this. Rory McIlroy, fresh off that final round 62 in Abu Dhabi, and a tie for third, sitting pretty. 760 points clear of Marco Penge, 3-time winner in the DP World Tour this season. Marco can only leapfrog Rory by finishing first or second. Solo third will not be enough. Tyrrell Hatton has to win and hope Rory finishes outside the top 10. So essentially, Colty, Rory looking pretty good. And look, people have their own views on the fact that Marco's played 25 times in the DP World Tour this season. Rory's played 10. But Rory has made it a career goal now, clearly, to try and catch and overtake Monty. It'll be 7 if he does it this week, 4 in a row. And you have to applaud him for that.
Yeah, 100%. It's well capable of obviously exceeding Monty's total, getting ever closer. There's a great chance, obviously, that he's going to do that this week. Look, what Rory has achieved this year, he is the world golfer of the year, and if you give him that accolade, I think on the other hand, you've got to give Penge the European golfer of the year. I think when you consider 12 months ago, or just over 12 months ago, he had to hole a 10-footer on the 36th green, beg your pardon, over there in South Korea to make the cut, and then 69, 67, whatever it was at the weekend to get to 110, keep his card, and then do what he's done this year, I think is nothing short of phenomenal. And you really got to take your hat off for that. But yeah, Rory, again, continuing to get closer. He's already, as Sir Nick Faldo said when he got the green jacket, Europe's best ever golfer. He's just continuing to add to that dominant list.
He is some player, Marco Penge, isn't he, Radar? That's just the sheer speed when you watch him recoil.
Yeah, he's the whole package. He's the whole package. He's very fit, as they all are these days. He's you got to say he's a late blossomer, really. I mean, he does it very much his own way. I've never seen someone with such straight legs, the way he goes about it. Okay, he kinks them right down there at the just where he pulls the trigger. But yeah, he's so very, very cool to watch. He hits it so very far. And the DP World Tour are very lucky to have him. I think it was unlucky not to play Ryder Cup, but Luke Donald's not.
Well, there's always Ireland in 2 years' time, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly. And he's going to suit Adair Manor.
Yeah.
But, he's up against a great Rory McIlroy. What a year that boy. Like Rory McIlroy, as Andrew's just said, you win the Players, you win the Masters, you win your own National Open, and you win the race to Dubai. No one's beaten him here this week. I'm sorry, it's curtains. It's curtains, especially when he owns this place such as he does. But what a phenomenal year.
Yeah, just phenomenal. And it has been phenomenal for Marco as well, Laurie. And Colty was mentioning it there, just over 12 months ago, needed a birdie up his 72nd hole to keep his card. Fast forward 14 months, here he is, a 3-time winner, heading to the PGA Tour next season, could still be the Race to Dubai champion. Did you always think Marco had this in the locker, or has he surprised you this season?
I mean, I don't think anyone could have predicted that, but I think it's a lesson there for every young player who's kind of kicking around doing what Marco was doing, on the Challenge Tour, gets up, just clings onto his card. It kind of echoes Tommy Fleetwood, actually.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same thing happened to him. Won the Order of Merit on the Challenge Tour, came up, had to go to South Africa, I think, hung on, got a top 10 to keep his card. Very, very similar kind of thing. I think all the ingredients are there for Marco to become a world-class player. Radar, you guys would have watched him all year. I played a practice round with him in Abu Dhabi. I've known him for a while. I played a bit of Euro Pro with him. He's a lovely guy, and I think it seems to me, again, if he can stay fit and focused on what he needs to do, then basically he can do anything. He's got the game to be a top player in the world, hasn't he?
He seems to have the mindset as well. He wasn't daunted last week in Abu Dhabi.
English golf is so healthy, isn't it?
It really is. It really
It
is.
is, yeah.
We have the added intrigue, gents, of the battle for the 10 PGA Tour cards as well. As we said, Marco Penge will definitely be getting one. Also looking pretty safe, Christopher Wrighton, Adrian Sadier, John Parry, Alex Noren, and I think, by my maths, looking pretty good, Laurie Canter. Have you done the maths yourself, Laurie?
I have looked at the Order of Merit. It's like...
You haven't tried to work out how you can't end up in the top 10,
no,
surely.
I'm 6 on the rankings.
Oh,
for
well,
it.
you can't.
It's,
You're in.
It's mathematically possible. And ultimately, what I keep trying to tell myself is if I don't sort of completely the bed this week, and
That's a good way to go into it.
Yeah.
and
Wear a nappy.
I mean, I like this golf course, and I love playing in the desert. So
Yeah.
and what I'm trying to tell myself is a great week. I could nick second on the Order of Merit. It's kind of how I'm trying to frame it.
Yeah.
That's the way.
You were a
Absolutely,
couple of years ago.
absolutely.
You were
Look
last
up,
group.
don't look
Absolutely.
back. Look down.
He's probably going to ask you the question, but I don't want to step on your
No,
toes.
don't
But
be
you've
silly.
obviously spent a bit of time in the States this year already because of what you've achieved so far. What did you learn during that experience in your time over there this year?
I mean, I learned it's incredibly hard going for 1 week at a time. I mean, the schedule that kind of unfolded for me was never in my plan. I tend to have April and May off, and that's when I have a little break and I practice and train and whatever. So going out 1 week at the Masters and home, 1 week at the US Open and home. The most exciting part about having a status in America would be able to go for 3 or 4 week stints, acclimatise, get used to the grass, get used to conditions. So the golf's different, right? Like we all know, the golf courses are slightly different. I think the short game requirements are more tricky. You've got to be a little bit more smart with, I think, how you plan, all that kind of stuff. So I think if it was to happen for me and I get one of those cards, those are things. I think that exposure this year, and actually the fact I didn't do particularly well, for me is probably, hopefully, a good thing.
A good thing, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I can try and learn, and you need to learn quickly, right? You need to go out and it's basically hit the ground running out there, I think.
Yeah. How did you find, I know you only sort of saw it in microcosm, but how did you find the sort of camaraderie on the PGA Tour, or lack thereof? Because people often talk about the DP World Tour, you guys travel together, you stay in the same hotels together, you have dinner together, and PGA Tour, everyone's in their own little bubble. Did you find it a little bit more closed off?
My first thought was the players, and to be honest, there was a bit of a narrative built there because I'd played a couple of the live events and gone and played, and all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So, but to be honest, it was actually Rory came and sat with me a couple of times for lunch, and he was very nice. One of the guys. So I found the camaraderie at that one nice. I enjoyed. The PGA Tour's got some cool little quirks that we don't have in Europe or other. They have kind of like a player-only area for dining, which is really quiet, and that's probably a bit more me, like pre-round, and then. It seemed quite family focused, which is nice.
Yeah.
A lot of players had their families out, which potentially means the players are maybe a bit less together. But I mean, in terms of the facilities to set up, it's everything you'd ever want. I mean, incredible.
That's so important on the PGA Tour, is family. You have to, because they won't talk to you really on the PGA Tour. It's a different kettle of fish, and they all stay in different hotels.
Yeah.
So you have to take family, whether it's mum and dad, whether it's your sister, whether it's whoever. It's always nice to have someone there, so you've got someone to eat at night with. You're not by yourself all the time.
Yeah.
That's a very important thing on the PGA Tour. It's a different circle.
That's a 100-foot eagle putt a few weeks ago in South Korea, Laurie, basically sort of put you in this box seat now. What was the pressure like building up to then when you knew you were sort of right on the bubble, right in the cusp?
I played so poorly the two previous weeks, and I'd kind of lost, if you like. I'd fallen out of the top 10 spots, and it was a similar thing to what happened last year, really. Like, I didn't have a particularly good summer, and career I went with a kind of working on a slightly different thing in my golf swing, and it was kind of all a bit fresh. Honestly, with that putt, I was trying to just make sure I got it over the hill and didn't leave it on top of the hill. Yeah, because I thought, it's amazing the things that go through your head, but I was just thinking, if you leave this short, you're bringing 4-putt into play. So I got it to the top of the hill, and a 2-putt from there would have been fantastic. So maybe got me a top 5 or something. So for it to go in and get second, and the way our points are structured on this tour, the difference with a second place points, I think I earned 450 points that week versus potentially a 2 or 3-putt, maybe you get 100. So it's
massive.
It's a huge, whatever way, it's a huge slice of luck for it to go in, and it made my job as it is to try and get one of these cards simpler for the playoffs.
Hey, look, you get enough bad luck in this game. You take the good luck when it comes your way. The final 4 cards, as things stand, held by Haotong Lee, Dan Brown, Keita Nakajima, Jordan Smith right in the bubble, as I believe he was this time last year as well. So good luck to those guys this week. We're going to let Laurie go and get practicing now. We're going to discuss, once you've gone, a bit of Ryder Cup stuff. So before I let you go, I take it you were glued to every minute of it, and it lit a fire under you to be there in Ireland in 2 years' time.
Yeah, I actually watched it in the pub here, the Crafty Fox behind me, and I went up on Friday night just to sort of see what it was like, and the atmosphere wouldn't have been like Bethpage, but I like to think it was really good, and I think there's something special about being a European watching an away Ryder Cup. I think it's I kind of wish I'd gone and seen it, and I would love to have a crack at one day. Obviously, I think it's they just look amazing, like an amazing thing for a player to be a part of. Yeah.
Phenomenal achievement, wasn't it? And especially if we sort of deal with Friday and Saturday separately from Sunday, when obviously the US had that incredible comeback, but on the Friday and Saturday, Europe just got everything spot on, didn't they?
Yeah, I think I remember at the Team Cup, Luke Donald was talking to us about one of the things he was saying was you can kind of silence the crowd so much that the crowd can almost get on the home team's case, and it really felt like that watching on the telly. Like, Europe did such a good job of just shutting them out. I mean, they basically had nothing to get excited about for 48 hours. And so I think the achievement there within the team element of the golf was amazing. Sunday they held on. I don't really know how they did that. It was one of the worst, one of the worst viewing days of my life.
It was horrible. My stomach was in knots just watching. We're going to let you go. Very finally, prediction for England All Blacks at Twickenham on Saturday?
I think England will win. I think they look organised. I think they're going to win. I'll say England by 10. There you go.
Scotland had a chance at Murrayfield last weekend. They blew it.
Scotland should have taken them. Should have taken them. You've got to take your chance when you get your opportunity.
Australia,
of course, looking for the first win.
We're just on a holiday. We're building.
They're a cricket nation, not a rugby nation. Laurie, we're going to let you go. Going to take a quick break there. We'll be right back in just a moment. Welcome back to the Sky Sports Golf Podcast presented by Callaway. Still alongside me, Andrew Coltart and Wayne Riley. And gents, as we said in the first half of the podcast, this is always a special week. It is 10 times as special when it comes at the end of what has been such a fantastic year for European golf. Europe at last has a member of the Grand Slam club, and we're just 6 weeks on from the most remarkable Ryder Cup in New York. 9 of Europe's victorious 12 in the field this week. Colty, for that reason, there will be a bit of a sort of celebratory party atmosphere here this week, won't there?
Yeah, I think so. Arguably, sort of outside of Wentworth, you come to this part of the world. It's over the last 20, 30 years or so, it's kind of been a spiritual home of the European Tour. It's the end of the season, as you said, and it's a chance for the players who have, toiled tirelessly and brilliantly throughout the course of the year, just to sort of let their hair down a little bit, have a final sort of flurry around a golf course that gives up quite a few birdies and eagles, enjoy themselves out here and finish in some style.
Now the dust has settled a bit from Bethpage radar, how will we look back at that Ryder Cup?
Oh, favourably. I mean, it was incredible, wasn't it? It was just, as Laurie was saying earlier, that he was a bit scared on the Sunday, but there was too many. I was out there and I was looking at the board. At one stage there were 7 or 8 matches tied. It all couldn't go wrong. You won the Ryder Cup properly. I know, but looking up there, everyone's going, they're all coming over to me, the European fans, and they go, oh, right, it's, but It had to be a miracle for America for that to go wrong with all the tied matches. So it got a little close, yeah, but you will look back to answer your question and go, you won away. Rory wanted to win away Ryder Cup, and it's going to be incredible next time around as well.
I think there's no doubt about that. I mean, Ireland's going to be immense. Can't wait for that. Look, I think the singles flattered Keegan Bradley's inability as a captain, really, to be perfectly frank, because everything that he could work out, everything that he could plan for in terms of the partnerships, the pairings, that all went completely against him.
Yeah.
What couldn't go against him is the players playing their own ball and going about the business their own way.
The fact that they're phenomenally talented golfers.
Exactly. The only thing that he had any influence there was basically just the order that they went out in. Otherwise, it was the right guys, go and do what you do. And they did what they did. So there's an argument that he actually maybe sort of had the shackles on them for the first 2 days, Friday and Saturday. They weren't able to play the way they wanted to. He could never. The Americans struggled to find a partnership for a world's number one. Seemed to be able to do that. They never got off on the right hoof, albeit they did. They managed to win the first quite significantly, but then once they went across Swamp Road, it started to unravel for them. And at the end of the day, it massively flattered the American side.
Yeah, I tell you what, the other thing, he walked in with his dog on Sunday morning, and I thought to myself, yeah, boy, I wonder if the dog's actually going to listen to him. He did. He walked on with.
He's got better chance than the 12 players, probably.
Walking in there with his like a chihuahua.
If the drama of that final day, Colty, flattered Keegan, it also perhaps glossed over just how special the planning from Luke and Dodo, etc., had been on Friday and Saturday, and how dominant Europe were in the team section of it.
Yeah, and I'll go so far as to say, not just on Friday and Saturday, Jamie, but the weeks, the months, the days just leading up to the first, because they left no stone unturned. You know, Molinari, Luke, the PR team behind all that, they've got such a great understanding for the Ryder Cup, how it's played, the manner it's played, what matters to the players, the participants and stuff like that. They're across absolutely everything. And as I said, they leave no stone unturned. They give the players the best opportunity to perform at their absolute peak, and that's what Europe are very, very good at.
How impressive is Luke Donald?
Very. I hope he does it again.
What's your gut instinct? Will he do it again?
Oh, it's 50-50. I can't say yes and I can't say no. Really, you want me to say it? Yes.
Your gut?
I think he'll do it, because I can't see you losing in Ireland.
My gut's no, because if he's going to do 3, he's got to do 4, because they don't want to bleed a rookie.
But does he need to do 4? Because perhaps is Luke thinking, right, there's no obvious replacement for me right now, so I'll do Ireland. But in 2 years' time, Justin Rose might then be ready to take on the captaincy for Hazeltine, whereas Justin Rose clearly still feels he wants to play in Ireland.
Yeah. Well, that's something that he's got to do. Look, I think there's the other thing as well, is that, you know, it does take a tremendous amount of time. Oh. This is not just a sort of Luke Donald. It is a Diane thing. It's his family. It's how much time does he take away from that age. You know, he's at that age and stage where he doesn't need to be playing golf. He doesn't need to be chasing around the world doing Ryder Cup stuff day in, day out for another 2 years. It takes up 2 years of your life. Yeah. This. And you know, arguably it's taken up 4 years of his life. Is he gonna do it again? I don't know. I think he's going. I think. The phrase I was going to use was completely wrong. I think he's going to take his 2 victories home and away, and he's going to place them on his mantelpiece. He's done himself. He's done the continent incredibly proud. Yeah, it's a job well done. Pass the baton.
If he doesn't do it, who does it?
Well, that's the question. You know, Francesco Molinari, Alex Noren, perhaps the names in that, because I think Justin's going to sort of rule himself out, isn't he, and say, I want to be playing at a dare manner. But what I would say is, I think what Luke has done is he's left Europe Ryder Cup in such a strong place that essentially anybody could probably take the captaincy over and still be in a really strong position.
Even you.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think Europe has tried and tested formulas in there that work very, very well. Again, you know, we had basically 11 of the 12 that were there last time. I would imagine it'll be something similar again next time, although we've got to wait on the Ram Hatton appeal thing that comes out. That could have a massive impact on the team in a dare manner. But you know, they have a terrific understanding about everything that needs to go into all the detail, and it would be, relatively speaking, an easy role to fill.
The other thing they've got as well.
Not to succeed at this, but it would been easy to slip in.
The other thing they've got, Radar, is in Rahm and Hatton and McIlroy and Fleetwood. You've got Seves and Ollies there for the next 4 Ryder Cups.
Long time.
Just teams that look unbeatable, pairings that look unbeatable.
Well, the Americans, I'm sure they are worried.
Yeah.
You know, and it's going to be a hard gig, mate. After what happened in at Bethpage, with all the heckling and stuff like that, we expected that, but in Ireland, it's going to like I can't see. I think I can't see it happening. I can't see them.
Yeah.
Even contest. I think it could be an absolute drubbing in Ireland.
Well,
around an incredible place. JP McManus will put on an incredible show.
I'm actually heading there later this week. Heading to Adair later this week.
You get all the good gigs.
You can't get your tickets now. If they're on
it's
sale.
It's going to be incredible.
But who are the Americans going to pick to captain?
Well,
Fred Flintstone.
It's going to be Tiger, isn't it? You would think.
And
then the question is, what sort of captain will Tiger be? Because throughout his career, he's been the most single-minded.
JP McManus, big friends with Tiger. I think that's what they've been waiting for. Yeah, I think that's certainly the odds-on favourite, Tiger Woods to. Yeah. But will he want to go to Ireland as a captain? And
yeah.
I mean, honestly, they're in a little bit of. They are on the Titanic.
Yeah.
And that took off from Ireland.
Well, look, it's going to be fascinating to see whether Luke Donald stays on for one more or whether someone else steps into those sizable shoes. But one man, of course, who was a huge part of that European success at Bethpage a few weeks ago was Tommy Fleetwood with 4 points from 5. He is a Dubai resident these days, and I caught up with Tommy just a little bit earlier on. Tommy, I imagine it's always nice to be able to sleep in your own bed at during a tournament week, isn't it?
It is. It's a bonus. I do say, for all the travelling that I do throughout the year, I've got like a period here of the year and the start of next year where I get my own back a little bit and I'm in my own bed a lot.
Are you playing the golf of your life at the moment?
I mean, it's been a really good period. It's been a really good period of golf. I am playing well. I'm playing very consistently. I feel like I am doing so many things well. Mm-hmm. And the results are showing that, but I'm very aware of what the game of golf can do to you, so I'm just trying to do the right things every day and continue to keep my head down and keep working and seeing what the game brings next, really.
This is obviously a huge week in its own right, but it also feels sort of quite a celebratory week because we've got 9 of the 12 European players here, and it's the end of what's been a great year for European golf. Now the dust has settled a bit from Bethpage. Just how do you look back on the enormity of what you achieved?
Well, I would say that we're all very proud, I think, to have gone there as a team and as a family and represented Team Europe the way that we did. I think we all just take immense pride in that, and to go there, look back on some of, for all of us, some of the most memorable moments of our career with, whatever happens in the future. I think, very, very lucky. The team was amazing. We were so well prepared. Luke was unbelievable, as usual. And like you say, the dust has sort of settled, but we're continuing to play. I actually really love the Christmas period because that's when the programs come out and the reruns of the Ryder Cup comes back. So I'll look forward to watching them back.
We almost have to look at sort of Friday and Saturday and then Sunday separately because it was like 2 different events almost. Friday and Saturday just was all about the meticulous planning of Luke and Dodo. You guys were just so well prepared, weren't you?
Yeah, I think we were unbelievably well prepared, and I think that's something that was a standout for us. We were confident as a team, but I think you always have to go in with confidence as a team. Like, you believe when you're playing. I've played as a team and felt confident that we were going to win and didn't. But like, we've been hammered, but we were confident as a team. We were very well prepared, and as a group and the pairings, to have had that Friday and Saturday was like dream stuff. I mean, you couldn't have wrote it any better for us. I felt like Saturday night was, or Saturday evening at the golf course was one of, honestly, the most special atmospheres I've ever seen. Like, it was so amazing for us. And the team that we had behind us, the planning that had gone into it, and then for us to execute in the way we did was amazing. It really was.
and then Sunday. Look, I imagine
Yeah.
it feels like a punch in the gut losing a match in the 18th. But then after that, when you look up the scoreboard and you just see red, 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 can
Yeah.
you imagine can you describe how horrible that feeling is?
It was honestly, Sunday was a tough day. I think, for the guys of us that went out early, played well, but those matches that go down the 18th that could go either way, like we were just on a run of getting nothing out of that 18th hole. Like so many matches went down the 18th and it goes the other way. It's over in 2 matches, but as it was, like you get on that wrong side. You've got to give credit to the American team. They showed so much heart, so much fight. They played amazing. But also out of that comes unbelievable opportunities. Shane, what an amazing moment in his career.
Amazing.
For him and for the team. So you have to look at that, the opportunities that came from it and the amazing moments that we had. And there was definitely, you feel when you've lost your match early and you're out there watching, you've just got no control over anything. So you're watching and you are powerless, and you've lost your match, and you're watching the guys and you're willing everything to happen, but you are completely powerless as a player. But to watch how it unfolded, to watch Shane's moment, and to watch us coming on the last in Tyrrell and Barb, and Ludwig getting our only one single point in the singles, but to watch that, and then eventually after it all to have gone there and got and won a Ryder Cup, amazing.
Just finally, Luke, I've described him to people since the Ryder Cup as the most impressive sportsman I've ever met. The guy just amazes me. Every single time he speaks, I hang on his every word. Do you want him to stay on for Ireland, and what is your gut instinct? Will he stay on?
I think all of us as players and as a team would love Luke to stay on. I mean, he's been an unbelievable captain. He's been an unbelievable leader. To be a friend, I would class Luke as a very close friend, and to watch how he's grown as a leader over this period, from all the way through his captaincy in Rome to now.
I think he's even surprised himself, hasn't he?
It's been honestly, to just watch him grow into it, to be the person he is now and the leader that he is now is amazing. And I think we would all love him to stay on and continue just with the. I feel like the story has still got a little bit to go, so I would love him to do that. But it's completely his choice. He's earned, with the captain he's earned the right to decide what he wants to do, and we will see. It's been amazing, and I guess we'll all wait and see what Luke Donald wants to do next.
Always great to catch up with Tommy. Other news from the world of golf over this past week or so. Liv have confirmed that they're going to move to 72 holes from next season. They've hailed this as a great thing, moving in line with regular professional golf. Rory McIlroy said it was peculiar as the 54-hole setup wasn't the primary reason that they weren't getting official world golf ranking points. Your thoughts?
Yeah, my thoughts are they had to do that to get the world ranking points.
Yeah.
The world rankings are massively distorted at the minute because players that have gone to Liv have slipped off the face of the planet, basically.
Yeah.
Other than DeChambeau, Ram and Hatton, and as a result of that, it's slightly unfair to be able to put a number on where they are in the world game. So it's slightly distorted from that point of view.
I think the reason Rory said it was peculiar is the 54 holes is not the reason. Not the primary reason that they're not getting world ranking points. The fact that it's an invitational tour. It's the fact that the guys there haven't earned a card on the Liv Tour. Like, you look at the guys who you have to grind on the Corn Ferry Tour or the Hotel Planner Tour to get a card on the PGA Tour, the DP World Tour. Then you've got to make cuts. That's when you start earning world ranking points. These guys have just been handed a place on Liv. And it's the invitational aspect of it is the reason they're not getting the points.
Of course it is. Look, they've been. It doesn't matter what anyone says about it. I mean, it's. Look, Liv is they are trying to create everything the Ryder Cup is, like that, like the razzmatazz and all that. Has that eventuated? No. I'm not so sure. I mean, not many people watch it. I mean, I don't know many people that watch it. I get what they're trying to do, and one day they might accomplish what they're trying to create. But right now, 72 holes, it's. I hear things on there and they go, well, it's the best tour. Some people say it's the best tour. No, it's not. I mean, the best players are on the DP World Tour and the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
Simple as. They've got a lot of work to do. And how long are Liv going to sink money into something that is not producing what they want?
Yeah.
I really don't know. I'm all for golf and promoting golf, whether that be Liv or PGA Tour or DP World Tour. But it has to be a success. for something to move forward. And right now, yeah, it's 72 holes. Do they deserve world ranking points? Yeah, but how many world ranking points?
That's
the thing.
Yeah,
do they deserve 70%? Do they? I really
next
don't
year
know.
is a big year, Colty, isn't it? Because there's some big names whose contracts are coming up for renewal next year, and that's going to be the acid test. Whether they at that point decide, I think I'm done with this experiment. I want to move back.
Well, absolutely. Those questions were put to one or two of the players, one or two of the big names that they have over there, and obviously they were very guarded with their responses because who's paying them. But between the lines, you could read and some of the experiences when some of them came back and played major championships. In the past they'd been sort of left out of, that how much they'd enjoyed it, and how much they'd enjoyed the cut and thrust of either the DP World Tour, that environment, or the PGA Tour. You could tell that was reasonably palpable in there. So I guess the figure is what they have to figure out is if the subsequent contracts that are coming around in their mind justify them staying over there, or whether they say they've had enough and we'll go back to where we came from.
On the PGA Tour last week, Ben Griffin is now a 3-time winner in 2025 after a victory in Mexico. He joked at the start of the week that he might have a chance because Scotty Scheffler wasn't in the field. This is bearing in mind he's finished runner-up twice to Scotty already at the Memorial and in Napa. And sure enough, in Scotty's absence, he did win. Now the world number 9, the first time in his career he's made it inside the top 10. And his remarkable 2025 continues. Proper player, Ben Griffin, isn't he, Radar?
Very good player. Doesn't obliterate golf courses. I watched him win over there. I think it was he won in Texas.
Yeah.
Charles Schwab.
That's exactly where I was. Colonial. Thank you, Andrew. Colonial. Great golf course. Horses for courses. He tacked his way around there. A little Valderrama-ish, that golf course. And he's a fantastic player. I had a good chat with him. He was over here a few weeks ago. He played in India, so he likes to travel. Yeah. Which, unlike a lot of Americans, they don't travel that much. I mean, look, I always look at that time of the year, or this time, not taking nothing away from Ben Griffin, but this is where you should be playing. They get their time over there. Yeah. We get our time here on the DP World Tour.
Come and see the world.
This is the place, the DP World Tour, the place to play from around the Irish, right through here. Irish, BMW, PGA, India, here. This is the place to play.
This week on the PGA Tour, they're in Bermuda. On the LPGA, it's the Annika. That's before their Tour Championship next week. But here in Dubai, it is the Tour Championship, of course, and we cannot wait for it. That does us for today. Thank you both for joining me, gents. Great to see you as always. Thanks for Laurie for joining us as well. If you like what you heard or watched today, do make sure you give us a follow on Apple or Spotify, wherever you get your pods. Leave us a review. Let us know what you think of the show. A huge thank you, as always, to Callaway for sponsoring the podcast. Thank you for listening, and do join us again next week.